Ini Dana Rapoport, direktur saya, direktur research saya.
Salut Dana, ça va?
Salut!
Ada Trulli juga.
Et Clara, bonjour Clara!
Bonjour.
Oh, il y a Clara. Oh, bonjour Clara.
Bonjour Ferdinando, comment ça va?
Oh, ça va bien. Et toi?
Oui, très bien aussi, oui.
Est-ce que tu es en Indonésie?
Oui, toujours.
Wow.
Toujours.
Bonjour, bonjour. Clara, bon, il y a des francophones également. Hein?
Excusez-moi?
Il y a des... Vous m'entendez?
Oui, je vous entends.
Oh oui, bonjour. Bonjour, je m'appelle Maria Battaglia, je suis la directrice de l'Institut culturel italien à Jakarta.
D'accord, enchantée.
Donc, avec l'université indonésienne, on a organisé ce webinaire. Donc, et je trouve que vous êtes... donc, il y a des francophones. Voilà.
Oui.
Ça fait plaisir aussi de partager en français quelques mots.
Ah.
Merci, merci.
Merci.
De participer à cette rencontre, à cette période de confinement. Et donc, on est content, on est heureux parce qu'il y a beaucoup de participants, a priori. Je pense, I think. OK, thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Direttrice, e c'è anche Dana Rapoport, è la mia direttrice di ricerca.
Enchanté.
Dana.
Enchanté, Dana. On peut parler français? Oui.
Oui, 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 bien sûr, bien sûr.
L'école des hautes études en sciences sociales.
Voilà.
Voilà. Donc, enchanté.
Enchantée.
Selamat pagi. Selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi.
Moi, je suis en Indonésie depuis 8 mois à peu près. Ça fait pas longtemps, mais bon. Donc, un peu d'indonésien, j'essaie de l'apprendre.
D'accord.
C'est arrivé. J'espère, je suis optimiste.
Et là, vous êtes à Jakarta?
Oui, oui, je suis à Jakarta.
D'accord.
Je suis directrice de l'Institut culturel italien à Jakarta.
OK.
Vous connaissez aussi l'Institut culturel italien à Paris. Bon, vous le connaissez. Non, Ferdinando?
Ben, bien sûr. Ferdinando.
L'Istituto di Cultura di Parigi, lo conosci?
L'Istituto culturel italien ici à Paris, oui.
L'Istituto culturel italien, rue de Varennes.
Halo, udah masuk lagi kok gue.
Donc, c'est la même chose. OK.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, technical problem, which is unavoidable. So, I know. Shall we start now? We have like 47 participants at the moment. Let me check if we are all here. Okay. Okay, I think we will start now. Wait. Let's participate. Okay, I just muted all of you, so there will be no distraction. Let me start now. Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning for those who are in Europe. I see here we have participants from all over Indonesia, from Solo, from Jakarta, Yogyakarta, Bandung, Surabaya, and many other cities in Indonesia. And I believe we have also some participants from Italy, from Napoli, Professoressa Seriente. And also from France, we have representative from EHES and CAS, from Croatia, and many more. So welcome, everyone. Very happy to see you all here. Welcome to the webinar entitled The Space and Landscape Perspective and the Challenge of Regeneration with the speakers, Mr. Ferdinando D'Agostino. He's an Italian PhD student at the School for Advanced Studies in the Social Sciences in Paris, and also member of Center for Southeast Asian Studies, and Dr. Afi Marlina, Head of Magister Program of Architecture of Universitas 11 Maret. So this webinar is a collaboration between the Italian Cultural Institute Jakarta and the Faculty of Engineering of Universitas 11 Maret in Solo through Urban Rural Design and Conservation Laboratory Department of Architecture. So now to start, let me call the Head of Study Program of Architecture Universitas 11 Maret, Bapak Dr. Untung Joko Cahyono, to say a few words. Pak Untung.
Okay,
Silakan.
thank you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Ms. Maria Battaglia, the Director of the Italian Culture Institute, Jakarta. Good afternoon and good morning, students, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Untung Joko Cahyono. I am the head of Architecture Department, Faculty of Engineering, Universitas 11 Maret, Surakarta. We are very happy when the Italian Cultural Institute Jakarta asked to have collaboration event with our institution. Particularly in this pandemic era, all activities that related with culture event was limited, and the students have limited access to kind of this event. With this webinar, I hope there are exchange knowledge between our student and staff, and member and researcher and practitioners from foreign country, especially from Italia. And for the speakers, Bapak Ferdinando D'Agostino from case EHES and Ibu Dr. Afi Marlina, I would like to give best appreciation. May the experience can be inspired to others. And also thanks to Bu Kusumaruli, the head of ORDC Laboratory, as a moderator, and Ibu Kisera from IAC Jakarta, whom already active to have communication with us. And also big appreciation to all the team to make this webinar possible. Hope all of you can join this meeting and on webinar and stay safe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih banyak, Pak Untung. Thank you so much. And the next one, I will give the floor to Ibu Maria Battaglia, the Director of the Italian Cultural Institute in Jakarta, to say a few words. Ibu Maria, wait, I will unmute you. Okay.
Thank you, Kisera. Delighted to be here with you. And now, English language. And I'm very happy. And good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Dr. Untung Joko Cahyono, head of the study program of Universitas 11 Maret. Good afternoon, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, and good afternoon especially to professor and the teacher, to students of University Orientale from Network. Thank you so much. I'm the director of the Italian Cultural Institute in Jakarta and the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. and international cooperation, and the Italian Cultural Institute in Jakarta. In this pandemic period, continue to offer a series of cultural events, ranging from cinema, music, art, dance, science, literature, cuisine, cultural heritage, and many more. That is why I'm very happy today to be here with you all virtually on this webinar about Wayang Beber. I believe that in times of crisis, we need art and culture more than ever. Billions of people around the world turn to culture as a source of comfort and connection. This unprecedented emergency demonstrates culture's role in building resilience and social cohesion. Art is resilient. I'm very grateful for this first collaboration with Universitas de Bellas Artes. I am sure there will be many other possibilities to work together in the future. Now, allow me to give my thank you to Universitas de Bellas Artes, Bapak Dr. Untung Joko Chayono, Head of the Study Program of Architecture, to our speakers today, Mr. Ferdinando D'Agostino, grazie, molte, and Ibu Dr. Abi Marlina, Head of the Master Program in Architecture, and the moderator, Ibu Dr. Uli Kutuma. And of course, to all the team to make this webinar possible. Last but not least, I invite you all to follow us in our social media to enjoy the Italian culture from your home. Thank you so much, and I wish you a fruitful webinar. Be well, stay home, stay healthy, and especially stay tuned on Italian Culture Institute, Istituto Italiano di Cultura in Jakarta. Grazie mille.
Grazie mille, Dottoressa. Thank you so much. And now I would like to give our special thanks to our dear friend, Truli Hitosoro. She's also a PhD student in EHES. Thank you so much for creating the bridge between us all. And now, before we start, let me inform you some points about this webinar. The first one is this webinar will be bilingual in Indonesian and also in English. The second one is about the interaction in Zoom. I will try to share the rules. Be patient. We are all new in this technology thing, so okay, I think I can wait. Here we are. So yeah, we have several rules, not very difficult, I guess. So during the webinar, this is okay. Can you talk during the webinar? So we already thought about this to avoid the confusion. During the webinar, your microphone will be muted by the host, by me. However, if you have something to share, you want to ask, you want to share your opinion, you can write in the chat room whenever you want. Later on, I will write in the chat room so you can see how it works. And how to ask during the Q&A session. After the two presentations, you will have the possibility to ask. There are two options. The first one is you can write in the chat room. And the second one, you can digitally raise your hand. So at the bottom center of your PC or Mac screen, you can find the icon participants. You can click that, and then you can find the button labeled raise hand. You can click that, and your hand is digitally raised. I will unmute you, and you can start to talk. You can also react during the webinar, showing us if you like the presentation with emoji reaction. There are two options, thumbs up and clapping emoji. You can react without interrupting the meeting. At the bottom of the meeting screen, you can see how to do that. So I will give the floor to the moderator of the webinar, Dr. Kusuma Ruli, which is the head of URDC Laboratory of the Department of Architecture. Ibu Ruli, silakan.
Thank you very much, Gisela, and good afternoon, everybody in Indonesia, and good afternoon, good morning, yeah, for the one who live in Europe. Thank you very much for kind of such this opportunity. It is my pleasure to be here, and also I'm really happy to have kind of these events. Well, actually, this event was created when we talked with Kisera and Truly, and then we follow up more future, because like what Dr. Untung was says from head of Department Architecture, it is our big opportunity for our students to have kind of this event, because now in Indonesia, particularly the Ministry of Education really support for the Belajar Merdeka, meaning we are very happy, really to have gains knowledge from everybody, and particularly for these events, we can have a collaboration between Indonesia and Italy. So yes, today we have two very interesting, as we know, speakers. First, we have Ferdinando D'Agostino, Mas Nando. We can call him Mas Nando, yeah. And the second one, we have Ibu Dr. Alfi Marlina. So before we go to their presentation, please let me give a brief about who Mas Nando is. Yeah, actually Mas Nando already have visiting Universitas 11 Maret Solo for 3 months. Yeah, not UNS but in Solo. Yeah, have research in Solo. Okay, so Mas Nando is an Italian researcher, sure, who since 2008 has been conducting the research on wayang, and especially Wayang Beber since 2014. And I believe Mas Nando really falling in love with Wayang Beber, yeah. And Mas Nando graduated from Istituto Universitario Orientale Naples, Italy, with the thesis focusing on wayang kulit Jawa. So I think so much experience here. In 2008, he won a scholarship program, Dharma Siswa, from Indonesian Ministry Education to study Indonesian language and culture at University Pakuan Bogor. And currently he's doing his doctoral in social anthropology and ethnology at EHES Paris with the research on Wayang Beber. So he is also a member of CASE EHES, and today Mas Nando will talk about a bit more about the space and landscape perspective, because we have a collaboration from the Department Architecture, this is interesting. And then next, after Mas Nando, we go to the Dr. Afi Marlina. I think it's better Mas Nando to have his presentation first, and then after that we go to the Dr. Afi Marlina. Yeah, have a please. I welcome first speaker to Mas Nando, going first for 20 minutes. Yeah, Mas Nando, not more. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks, Kusuma, Ibu Ruli. Selamat siang semuanya, and welcome to everybody. Before to start with my presentation, with my speech, I would like to thank the director of Italian Cultural Institute, Maria Battaglia. Thanks to invite me to make this presentation. Mbak Sarel Tirterani, that think about me for this presentation, and all the staff of Italian Cultural Institute. And then a special thank to Dr. Untunjoyo Chayono, the head of the study program of architecture of the University of Las Maret, Ibu Dr. Rulli, Kusuma Rulli, dan Ibu Dr. Avi, that will be my partner in this presentation. Actually, we will start with the evolution of Wayang Beber, and then Ibu Avi will talk about regeneration. It is a topic that I'm really interested to, because actually Wayang Beber needs regeneration. Allow me to say something in Indonesian. Saya benar-benar senang bisa berbagi waktu dengan Anda semua, dan semoga seminar ini akan kasih ide dan inspirasi baru ke semua partisipan. Terima kasih. Jadi, okay. The first feeling when I received this proposal to make a speech about Wayang Beber, it was happiness, because we don't have very much occasion, very much chance to talk about Wayang Beber. And actually, it's not only my opinion, Wayang Beber is the less known among Wayang genres. We know when we talk about Wayang, we think about Wayang Kulit, is the shadow puppets theater, or Wayang Kolek, the 3D wooden puppets theater, or the Wayang Wong, is the Wayang with the human actors. Actually, Beber is an atypical kind of Wayang, because it's very different from the other genres. Its scenes are painted, and the orchestra is very limited, and there's no movement in this kind of theater. So if we compare with the other genres, it really looks different. I would like to, I have been requested to make a sort of, not historical evolution, but to give some historical data. I will try to don't make this so boring. And so I will start with a little presentation, just to give you some data and share. Okay. So. Okay, the scroll painting theater, the Javanese scroll painting theater, Wayang Beber, can be listed in the technique of the scroll painting theater. The scholars are agree in saying that the tradition to perform picture has very ancient origin, and it comes from the oral tradition to transmit the knowledge, so the myths of origin. That were containing the ancient knowledge of the ancestors, and so they were communicated by verbally. In time, this storyteller began, a part of the storyteller began to tell their stories with the help of some images. The introduction of images could be intended as a sort of help in the memorization of the narratives by the storyteller, but having religious content, it was also a sort of help for the audience to understand something more about ritual or religious meaning. So the trend was to perform narratives, epic episode, especially, and myths of origin with the help of some images, especially god images. The first thing that I want to say is that it's almost sure that the technique of the scroll painting theater come from India. And the first art we detected about is the Chitrakata, that is an art, the art to show picture and tell stories, and performed by the storyteller called Chitrakati, that means one who shows picture. And the first Pat is the name of the art in the modern world. And the Yamapatika and Mankas was the two class of storytellers. Yamapatika were a low caste of wandering beggars, because this was a sort of low caste dati. And the Yamapatikas tell story about Yama, the god of the lower world. And they show in their performances picture of Yama and the punishment of that. Mankas was another class of Chitrakata, and they wandered around little villages to tell stories about the god of the Hindu pantheon. The religious connection is very important in this art, because this actually was a sort of ritual. And being wandering beggars, the storytellers, means that they didn't have any payment, but just offerings from the people that assist that join the performance. So it's from India that Wayang Beber came to Java. And okay, we can see here Chandi, because actually, when we talk about Java, one image, well, one of the first image beside Wayang goes to the Chandi. And scholars, a lot of scholars are agree saying that Wayang Beber is a sort of narrative painting, and coming from the carvings, the narrative carvings of the Chandi. So here is a sort of data, historical data. I don't want to lose time about this, but I have to say this just to make you understand the evolving of the Wayang Beber, and then to introduce also the Ibuavi papers that will talk about regeneration. So the first thing I want to say is that we need a regeneration of Wayang Beber, because in such a way this tradition was almost forgotten for hundreds of years. So in my opinion, probably when the proto Wayang Beber arrived in Java, it was performed by beggars, by low caste people. So we are not sure if this arrived in the 10th century in Indonesia. But the fact is that our first historical data goes to the 939 current era, of course, in which King Jayabaya of Mamenang asked for a picture of his ancestors, and these pictures were drawn on a support called lontar or rontal. Rontal is actually the leaf of palmyra tree, palmyra palm, and this is a very, very ancient media, a very ancient support. So with the time, these figures, these characters, began to be performed by Adalan that tell story about the personage. With time, little heading were made to the gamelan, to the Wayang Beber, so adding gamelan and Kawi poems, and this can testify that that art went inside the court, so on an higher level. But the real change in Wayang Beber was when the Luang, so a change of support has been made. Prabu Surya Miluhur after the fall of Jenggala, has to go to the west. So he's the founder of Pajajaran Empire, Pajajaran Kingdom, and he asked to enlarge. He asked to enlarge this picture of ancestors. And the Diluang, that actually is a sort of paper made from tree barks, and it's called also Kertas Ponorogo. Allow this because the surface that can be obtained by the working of this tree bark. The surface was bigger than the lontar. So the first appearance of Wayang Beber, not the same as today, but in such a way, the first time the words Beber, that means unroll, come to life, was in 1361. With the time, during Majapahit Empire, the Wayang Beber that before until now was in black and white began to be colored, and this process was made by Raden Sungging Prabangkara. Sungging actually is also the name of the technique of coloring Wayang Beber. The last data that you can read here is about an historical evidence. Is about these chronicles have been made by Ma Huan, that was a Chinese monk that visited with an admiral of the Ming Empire, Java, during the Majapahit Empire. He gave very good chronicles about customs, art, and political situation in Java at the time. And he was the first talking about people that draw on the Luang and also represent this Luang. And I gave a sort of resume of what the Dalang made with the scroll. So showing scroll to the audience and explaining the images. So here is a very important historical point for the Wayang Beber, but not only, for all the Wayang art. And during the Demak Sultanate, at the fall of Majapahit, Islam comes to be spread in Indonesia, and since Islamic prescription about the drawing of human figure, the wayang had to have a sort of symbolization. So the wali, the apostles of Islam, made this sort of creative solution, symbolizing the character and giving a different proportion to the anthropomorphic figure. During Mataram Sultanate, we have the last two examples of Wayang Beber that actually are the two sets of scrolls that we still own today. And Panji Joko Kembang Kuning, that was made in 1696 during the reign of Sunan Mangkurat II, and Kireme Mangudjaya during the rule of Sunan Pagobuwono II in 1735. After this, the tradition to perform Wayang Beber went in a sort of decadence, because Wayang Kulit gained success and replaced also Wayang Beber in the ritual, in the ceremony of the Ruwatan, that was a sort of exorcism of cleansing ceremony. So since that time, Wayang Beber, as we said before, began to be not to disappear, but it lived a sort of forgetting period. Okay, based on our two examples that we have about the traditional scroll, the traditional Wayang Beber, Okay, a performance of Wayang Beber. It's made by Dalang that open the scroll, a scroll on which several scenes are painted, and that contain, of course, a story, a set complete contain a story, and Dalang has a very important duty in this performance, because is the only that can give the idea of what is represented in the scroll, and is the only guide for the audience that cannot see any movement. So it's a very static performance, and there's no puppets, so no time to devote to the movement of the puppets with technique. So the technique is just in the storytelling. I think I didn't lose too much time to explain this historical stuff. So we can go to the topic of this seminar, because we are in a sort of collaboration with the architecture program. So it was nice for me to talk about space and landscape and perspective in Wayang Beber, because I have the chance to share this with architecture, with architects and experts in the field. So I can be inspired also about your opinion, the opinion that you will have in the following discussion. Okay, the two now, after I say this, we can see some images, but I would like to say that in the two scrolls, the two traditional scrolls, Kiremeng, the two stories, Kiremeng Manggujaya and Joko Kembang Kuning, we have two shared elements, so two elements in common as regard the landscape, space, and perspective. The absence of focal point. This means that every object and surrounding are depicted independently of one another. It's like if they are known to be rather than they are seen to be. And another feature is that they are the direction which they are presented is different from characters to another. This system does not produce the illusion of depth, but the sense that an object and their surrounding have been compressed within a shallow space behind the picture plane. The other feature is the multifaceted perspective. This is a trick that can be obtained by thanks to the particular depiction of the characters. So actually, we can see how characters are represented in the images. This is the Wayang Beber Pacitan, and is the Joko Kembang Kuning narrative. So we can see the characters. They have their bodies is depicted in a particular manner, because they have the bodies of the characters is depicted from the front, with their heads as profiles, but with both cheeks and eyes visible to the audience. Legs and arms are very are long and are pictured from the side, and legs are one beside the other as walking. We will see this in the next image. Yeah, as you can see here. So as they walk. This is an image of actually this is the first scene of the first floor of Kiremeng Manggujaya. It's a picture that I took in Gelara, because I had the chance to see this scroll, but not the other. So as I see, as I said, there's common element. Of course, we have also differences between the two scrolls, the two set of scrolls in the picture. In Wayang Beber Pacitan, the background, as you seen by in the first images, is full of decorative motifs and color details, and there's no empty space. The fact that there's no empty space is a sort of conception that that when I was in Bali studying the Kamasan style, that I think is the Wayang Beber as it was before the spread of Islam, so before the symbolization of characters in Beber, is a sort of formula called Rame dan Sepi, so empty and quiet. And the fact that there's no empty space is a sort of as in painting is called, is sort of horror vacui. That means fear of empty space. Is a sort of concept that doesn't accept the empty space in something, in an image. So, and Wayang Beber Gelaran, as we seen, but we will see in the photo, is the background is planar. The color range is limited, and there are some reference points. What I mean is that in the Wayang Beber Pacitan, we don't have any landmark, a difference from Remeng Mangkujoyo, and it seems that a single scene is made on 3 levels, like upper, medium, and high level. But we can see all I said in the image. Okay, this is Wayang Beber Pacitan, Joko Kembang Kuning, is the older among the two, and as you can see, the landscape is made by a lot of color details, and is a bit is not so clear, is a bit confusing. What we can notice is the presence of the Kekayon. There is a symbolic figure. It's the sort of axis mundi, is the tree of life that represents symbolically the union between the heaven and earth. So there's always this duality in Wayang Beber, bad, good and evil, and peace and chaos, peace and war. So it's always kind of a relationship between microcosm and macrocosm that in the figure is represented by the Kekayon. So colorful details, as you've seen, is very, very full of colorful details. And this can create a sort of confusion of perspective in the human eye. Here enter the dalang. Before I said that the dati of the dalang is very difficult in Wayang Beber. Now we have the real example why I said this, because the dalang in this has to guide the eye and the mind of the user in understanding what is watching. And so all the concept, all the detail owns a sort of symbolical meaning, and it's the duty of the Wayang to explain the audience what is going on in the scene, and to give details, because as you can see at first sight, okay, we see a sort of dialogue between 2 personages and their companions. But after that, we don't have any reference about the landscape, about the place, and actually this is an imaging a scene that is in the inside of a place. So it's not outside. The other image was outside. So little changes about the two ambients. So landscape is very confused, and is the dialogue that guides the perception of the audience and stimulate the ability to find consistency in this confusion. We can call it abstractionism, but it's a sort of painting technique that enhance the philosophical concept, the metaphysic of the Wayang Beber. As you can see in this other image, I hope the resolution is good. And this is a Kiremeng Mangujoyo, part of the Gelaran scroll. Is in the province of Yogyakarta, Gelaran, in Gunung Kidul. We can see how the background is plainer respect to the other examples, and we can see the tree level, which I talked before. So the low level is where this is a scene where Panji, that is the character on our right, accept a sort of challenge to cross this river on a bamboo cane, and these are to marry Chandra Kirana, that is the queen of the rain, the princess of the rain of Kediri, and these are all the other participants of the challenge that, of course, didn't succeed. And this is Panji going to Chandra Kirana, that is the other characters on the left, that is accompanied by the two companion or Panakawan, very important figures in Wayang. And the third plan, as you can see, is full of characters that are part of these are the sort of team of the people that are challenging. And on our left, that we can see the good part, on our right the evil part. That could be also considered as a sort of upper level. Is the Wayang, is the Dalang that explain us who are these characters and so on. So we need a guide. But I would like to make you notice that, as I said before, there's no focal point. I found actually that in Wayang Beber Gelaran, in Kiremeng Mangujoyo narratives, this is not true for every scene. So it's this style change among different scenes, because here with this detail that we see on the top of the screen between the two teams, the good and evil, it's a sort of is a symbol that is we can find in every scene, not always the same, but is a sort of in one scene can be considered a sun. Here is a sort of flying object. In this, the fantasy can go far, because there's a lot of little detail that must be studied in the scene of the Wayang Beber. So as you can see here, this work as a focal point, because is the first detail that pick our eyes. So and it seems also there's a sort of geometrical movement, and it's a sort of triangle between the two personages, this element, and so on. Triangle between the characters on the left, the symbols, and the team, and also between Panji, the detail, and the evil forces. So it's always very, very interesting to see how detail works in the scene. And it's interesting to see that in other scene we can see always representation of triangle. Here you can see in the middle of the scene this triangle of water. And okay, the presentation finished, but I would like to make you see some other thing. Share screen. Yes, some other scene. Yeah. So here I can use a bit of zoom. This is the first scene of the Wayang Beber Kiremeng Manggujoyo, the scrolls, the set of scroll from Gelaran. And here a lot of details are interesting. As I told you before, there are landmarks in the landscape of Wayang Beber Gelaran. Here we can find a sort of pendopo, typical Javanese building, and here another build. And this remind me of the carvings in the image that I showed you before of carvings. We can see landmarks similar to this. I can go to the image. I hope you can follow me in this. And here you can see building, and the same pendopo is here, tree, and another tree here. So the scene is really, really similar to that in the detail that I put on screen. And you can see Kekayon or Gunungan here is present at the beginning and the end of every scene. Here, the other part of the scene is not showed, but it's a sort of limit where a scene starts and ends. So here we can see the geometrical elements that I give you before. Triangle between personages is the two Panakawan make a sort of triangle with the principal characters, and also between the third level, as I told you before, there's always somebody that look at what happened. And the focal point in this scene is this kind of sun that we can see at the top of the images in the central part. And this, I think, can be a sort of focal point because we can see the perspective of the personages. So I'm not always agree with the idea that no focal pointers in the perspective of the scene in Wayang Beber. And we can see the contrary in the Joko Kembang Kuning scene. As you can see, for sure in this background full of details, of colored details, and very, very nice. For sure, there are landmarks and reference points. But in this case, is the dialogue that really has to guide the user, because it's difficult. As you can see, there's also imaging of zoomorphic characters, but actually everything is very confused. We can see the Kekayon, and we can see that almost everything, every detail is a sort of Kekayon. And but there's the one at the beginning of the scene and the other the end of the scene. There's another one between the two main characters that usually means dialogue in Wayang Beber and also in Wayang kamasan. And here, maybe we can notice also the tree plan that I talked before, but everything is more confusing, and I think is not a coincidence. The symbology of this of the images, I think, was one of the main feature of the Wayang Beber Joko Kembang Kuning. This is the same images. Okay, this is another images, and yeah, landscape, as you can see, is almost always the same, because when we observe is different, but very similar among different scenes. So the 3-level plan here, it seems that the 3rd level is missing, but you can see this kind of kekayon that became a gunungan, so mountain, and something I want to make you notice is also the confusing way to represent the characters, the space between the characters. They look like they are stick one another, but the proportion, the space between the characters is not that confused. That means that for sure there is a focal point, but it's difficult to find, and I think this can take us again to the dalang. Is the skills of the dalang to use the theatrical illusion, the theatrical maya, that reconstruct all the landscape, all the details, in order to give us not a clear imaging, but not only a clear image for our eyes, but a clear image in mind, because guiding us through the stories, through the narratives, but also through the place in which the narrative goes on. And it's important. And here we can say that this shows the duality of the wayang in general, but Wayang Beber is a sort of getting lost and find a way back, and the dalang as the major dati in this case. Thanks a lot. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Mas Nando. It's very interesting. And then when we see the Wayang Beber, also it's very colorful. Okay, for all the participants, we will be hold for the question and answer, because we would like to introduce going to Dr. Afi Marlina. Before we go to the question and answer time, yeah, I would like to introduce Ibu Dr. Afi Marlina. Now on, Ibu Afi Marlina, as the head of the Master Program in Architecture. And recently, Ibu Dr. Afi Marlina has research on Wayang Beber with the community for during these 2 years. So that's why when he is coming for us and said the theme is Wayang Beber, so we are very happy because we can connect Ibu Afi Marlina to Mas Nando, and we are talking develop for webinars to give more wider perspective going to our students. And yeah, Ibu Afi Marlina currently doing this research with the community of Wayang Beber in Jeron Beteng in Surakarta, and have many activities going to senior high school, to the schools, and teaching the senior high school, junior high school students about the technique doing of Wayang Beber. So Ibu Afi will give a presentation, deliver the presentation with Bahasa Indonesia. So for the one who cannot really knows Bahasa Indonesia, probably Kisera can become a translator. Or yeah. Then okay, Ibu Afi, I welcome you being a first speaker in this seminar. Have a please for around 15 minutes.
Thank you, Ibu Ruli. Okay. Ibu Ruli, mungkin sudah bisa dilihat ya?
Yeah, it's
Sudah bisa
clear.
tampilnya?
Yeah, it's clear. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me to join this webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, postgraduate students and undergraduate students, good morning and good afternoon. Today I will explain about how the architecture study program, the Faculty of Engineering UNS, in collaboration with LPPM UNS, conducted a regeneration of Wayang Beber painting skills to high school students in Surakarta. Why do we need the regeneration of Wayang Beber? Because I think so many Japanese people, especially the younger generation, they don't know about Wayang Beber. It is very ironic that Japanese people don't know about Wayang Beber. So we need education and regeneration activities. Why did I choose high school for the first step in regeneration? Because I think that high school has gotten art and culture lesson starting from elementary and junior and high school. So we consider high school to be able to represent the millennial generation with culture and artistic backgrounds. It means that high school students are familiar with color composition, painting techniques, with color, with watercolor or poster paint, and so on. Wayang Beber is a Japanese shadow puppet, and Wayang is a Japanese shadow puppet, and Wayang Beber is an art of painting wayang characters on a sheet or paper. In Japanese, it's called a beber. The characters are painted based on the order of the scenes of stories of Mahabharata and Ramayana, and Wayang Beber also tell about the love story of Panji Asmorobangun and Dewi Skartaji, or we know that Galuh Condro Kirono. The stories are played by unfolding the scenes. Wayang Beber, one of the oldest art form in the history of wayang in Indonesia, and Wayang Beber was born long before wayang kulit, and we know as the shadow puppets. Yes, there is so many people don't know about Wayang Beber, including my generation. Yes, I'm sure many people don't know about Wayang Beber. So far, most the people are more familiar with wayang orang or wayang kulit. The purpose of education and regeneration activities to give solution about the problem faced by high school that have students, mostly consisting of a millennial generation who less familiar with Japanese traditional art of painting, particularly the painting Wayang Beber. Okay. The other problem is that the rarity of this art form in Surakarta and the decreasing number of its painters. Therefore, education and regeneration activities are held to introduce and train the skill of painting Wayang Beber to high school students, hence protecting in this form of art form extension. The expected result is the student improvement of knowledge and skill in painting Wayang Beber, and I think a regeneration of skill in painting Wayang Beber to avoid extinction. Transfer knowledge about what is Wayang Beber is very important for the first step regeneration. Okay, millennial generation have several problems, yes, like limitation of knowledge related to painting Wayang Beber. So they need improvement of knowledge related to painting Wayang Beber. Thus, we made a guiding and training in painting Wayang Beber assisted by the Wayang Beber painters. The second problem is the limitation of materials related to painting Wayang Beber. So they need the improvement, I think improvement of provision of materials for painting Wayang Beber. Thus, we made a guiding and training and using material needed for painting Wayang Beber. The third is limitation of trainers, painters or artists of Wayang Beber painting. So they need improvement of provision of trainer or painter or artist of Wayang Beber. So we can do a provision of trainers, painter of artists of Wayang Beber. Oh no. And next limitation, they have a limitation of technique in painting Wayang Beber and limitation in promotion of Wayang Beber. So we have we need to improvement of knowledge and skill in painting Wayang Beber and improvement of making tutorial about painting. Thus, we made a training of technique in painting Wayang Beber and creating a video tutorial about painting Wayang Beber, which are uploaded onto YouTube, Instagram, so on. Oh, sorry. The relation between architecture and Wayang Beber are both learning about color composition, form composition, proportion, scale, tracing, and in Javanese is called ngeblat or jiplak ya, ngeblat itu kan in Javanese, yes. Rendering technique in Wayang Beber was called a sungging. The use of the same coloring tool as a drawing pen, Chinese pen, a paintbrush, and so on. So it's clear that why I involve team from architecture and architecture student in UNS to accompany high school students along with expert or pesungging Wayang Beber to provide education and training of a technique in painting Wayang Beber. Architecture and Wayang Beber both, I think, express the creativity of art in the space setting. As we see that the architecture, we are talking about a setting and space. Maybe can be residential space, area. Likewise, Wayang Beber is depicted in the picture of space setting. As we can see in the, I think in the Wayang Beber painting contain the form of the like pendopo, the roof of a house, a circle or column, and the environmental setting as in the architectural perspective. Yes, the first step in the introduction with the educational stage, a student are introduced to the form of Wayang Beber painting sheets, tool and material use, how the character of painting, color composition, and how to the paint with the character of Wayang Beber. Tracing in Javanese is called ngeblat. The next stage is a tracing process. This stage users make a shape object in the classroom by using translucent glass windows, so that the master image of the painting is clearly visible and can be drawn on cloth. In Javanese is called mori. Yes, this is working in group creates enthusiasm for learning how to paint Wayang Beber. The architecture students are able to accompany high school students because they already have a knowledge about color composition, shape, form, proportion, scale, and so on. This is the coloring process is accompanied the director by expert Wayang Beber, we call a pesungging. This is Mr. Joko. He is Mr. Joko Sriono. He is the only one pesungging Wayang Beber in Surakarta Kasunanan Palace. Yes, this is the result of the painting of high school students with Wayang Beber color, composition. Characters with generally use a bright color like yellow, red, green, orange, and edge. Yes. The workshop that we did was only taking a few scenes from Wayang Beber story, not the whole Wayang Beber scenes, because this is for the first introduction. According to me, I think the result of painting for high school students have been extraordinary. Within a few months, it has been able to produce a very, very good paintings, I think. This is also the result of the painting of high school students. Okay. The publication with YouTube aims to introduce the art of Wayang Beber painting to the public, especially millennial generation. This publication is expected to motivate the community and the millennial generation to regenerate skills in painting Wayang Beber, so it will not become extinct. Yes, for people and millennial generation who want to learn about Wayang Beber painting, they can see a video tutorial on how to paint Wayang Beber. This video was made by UNS architecture students. Yes, the Wayang Beber painting works from high school student framed to exhibit it at the art exhibition at the school. The art exhibition attended by student parents. Yes, this is a painting for Wayang Beber by high school student. It's displayed along the main entrance of the art exhibition. Yes, we can see. Yes, Wayang Beber painting are placed in the main exhibition area. Thank you for your attention. And cekap semanten atur kawula matur nuwun.
Thank you very much, Ibu Afi. We did the claps from very far away. Yes, it is interesting. Yeah, Mas Nando described about what is the element landscape in Wayang Beber, and then coming with the second speakers, we can see how really colorful that it was doing by the senior high school students did. Making Wayang Beber with their imagination. And I'm wondering, is it okay, Bu Afi, if we also did the colorful with a bit monochrome, not really bright, like the tone colors, right? The new trends today is not really bright, but is it okay for Bu Afi? Okay, later. Okay, then now it's going to the question and answer. We already get the question from YouTube first because I found the question is from the YouTube, not from the Zoom. We, from the Yulianto, Bapak Yulianto Kim, going to Ferdinando, Mas Nando. Okay, Mas Nando. Pak Yulianto Kim asking, when in the mix of the Wayang Beber start using by fabrics. Sorry, I will go to the YouTube ya. Pak Yulianto Kin asking you about okay, when the makers of Wayang Beber started using fabric and neglected lontar. And then the second one, are the drawing technique is the same with batik, and what kind of paint they use? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Pa Yulianto. Okay, when the makers of Wayang Beber started using fabric and neglected lontar, actually, they didn't start when the lontar was began to be neglected, began to be less used. They start with the daluang. That in any case was not fabric, but was it was a natural production of Kertas Ponorogo from the tree bark, so kulit kayu. So it became during the Majapahit period, and the aim of this change in support was due to the need to enlarge the figure of the Wayang Beber. First, when only a single picture was drawn on the Diluang, and then thanks to the bigger surface of the Diluang that we can obtain by, with Diluang, so then became a scroll. So lontar is still used in Bali, so never stopped to be used. But it's not exact to say that lontar was neglected by fabric, because the process was remain natural. It was just beaten tree bark. And today, yeah, with the Wayang Beber contemporary, they use paper or canvas. But at the time, Diluang was still a natural support, as was the paint. The color of the painting were get by natural ingredients as human bones or leaf and so on for the different colors. So just natural ingredients. And batik, no, it can resemble to the batik, but the technique of coloration of batik is different. We don't have to forget that Wayang Beber is always a painting product, so it's different. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Nando. And then, okay, goes to coming the second question from the Zoom. We are going to the Marco ya, Marco. Selamat sore Pak Marco Kusuma Wijaya yang sudah join 30 menit sebelumnya di Jakarta. He asks you to Ferdinando, when the dalang is performing, does he scroll open the whole Beber at once or bit by bit?
Okay, thanks, Pa Marco. Yes, these are details that I didn't give, because if I start to talk about that, I already bring a lot of time, so I didn't have. No, actually the dalang, when performing Wayang Beber, opens one scene at a time, so you never see the entire scroll, and every scroll is made by. I'm talking about the two traditional sets. Every scroll is made by 4 scenes. So the dalang open the first scene, sorry, and screen it to the audience. And then with the help of 2 wooden twigs, it turn the wooden twigs, closing one scene and allowing the other to come to our side. Thanks.
Okay. I think it's quite interesting, yeah. And Kisera, do you have something to say? Oh, please unmute.
Yes, okay. We have here Ibu Tamalia. I will lower your hand so you can speak.
Yes, I'd like to ask Ibu Afi, when you're teaching the SMP students, do you only teach the old stories, or do you also allow the students to create new stories? You know, something millennial, maybe a story now about the coronavirus, something like that.
That's a very interesting question. Okay, Ibu Afi, can you answer it?
Yes, oke. Terima kasih Bu Ruli. Mohon maaf saya menjawab dengan bahasa Indonesia, takut salah. Oke, begini. Jadi waktu kami mengajarkan teknik-teknik melukis wayang beber ini di SMA, kami menggunakan teknik-teknik yang lama. Jadi belum menggunakan cerita-cerita yang baru seperti COVID gitu, belum. Jadi artinya anak-anak itu kan belum mengenal sama sekali tentang wayang beber itu apa. Sehingga kami ingin anak-anak tahu terlebih dahulu wayang beber itu sebenarnya seperti apa, karakternya bagaimana, ceritanya seperti apa, kemudian baru diajari teknik-tekniknya. Begitu, Ibu.
Tapi di masa depan mungkin?
Oh ya, harapan kami begitu Ibu. Harapan kami ke depan semoga ini bisa dikembangkan ya. Artinya tekniknya mungkin menggunakan teknik wayang beber, tapi mungkin tema-temanya mungkin bisa milenial sehingga anak-anak bisa tertarik, begitu ya. Seperti itu Ibu.
Advokasi COVID. Terima kasih Ibu Tamalia.
Terima
Sebelumnya.
kasih.
Tahan dulu Bu Afi, ini ada pertanyaan lagi dalam bahasa Indonesia dari Pak Yulianto Kim di YouTube ya, di YouTube channel. Apakah ada pakem dalam pembuatan wayang beber ya? Apakah harus selalu dengan teknik ngeblat? Seandainya bisa langsung dibuat ke kain gitu, apakah bisa langsung? Is there any direct technique to drawing wayang beber through the fabric?
Terima kasih. Jadi begini, pada intinya sebenarnya untuk melukis wayang beber itu sebenarnya kan langsung ya. Cuman ini karena kita kan untuk anak SMA yang belum tahu apa-apa, sehingga kita buatkan masternya terlebih dahulu. Jadi dari potongan-potongan cerita dari wayang beber, kita ambilkan beberapa potongan cerita, kemudian kita buatkan masternya, kemudian anak-anak diajari mulai ngeblat dulu dengan menggunakan mori. Nah, seperti itu. Tapi pada intinya sih, semoga kedepannya sudah bisa langsung ya, tanpa harus mengeblat. Ini hanya sebagai proses tahap ya, tahap yang paling awal untuk pengenalan. Begitu?
Oke, ini sekalian lanjut lagi ya. Ada pertanyaan dari Mbak Meta Sari dan Mas Irwan Wunarlan di YouTube ya. Tingkat kesulitan jika dibandingkan dengan membatik bagaimana? Dan aplikasi Wayang Beber ke produk kerajinan, apakah di Solo sudah terwujud? Dan yang kemudian hampir bersamaan pertanyaannya Pak Irwan Wunarlan, apakah Wayang Beber bisa diangkat dalam salah satu motif batik? And I think probably this question also can answer by Nando for the last one. But have a please Bu Afi to answer first.
Oke, jadi kalau dilihat dari tingkat kesulitan dengan batik, sebenarnya ini spesifik masing-masing. Saya katakan sama-sama unik, sama-sama spesifik ya. Jadi saya tidak bisa mengatakan apakah itu Wayang Beber lebih sulit. Itu kayaknya tergantung dari masing-masing anak dalam kecepatan dalam memahami teknik-teknik tersebut. Jadi intinya batik itu juga punya keunikan dan juga susah juga, karena seperti misalnya batik itu ada batik teruntung, ada batik kawung, kemudian ada batik lereng dan sebagainya. Di sini juga ada pakemnya, makanya kemarin waktu kita mengajarkan itu kita ambil pakem-pakem yang lama dulu, sehingga anak-anak tahu, oh ini tingkat kesulitannya seperti ini. Tetapi berdasarkan lapangan ya, setelah kita memberikan beberapa bulan pendampingan ke adik-adik, ternyata anak SMA artinya itu dengan mudah memberikan pewarnaan. Jadi kan artinya ini kan subjektif sekali ya. Anak-anak ternyata bisa. Kami waktu itu awalnya pesimis ya. Waduh, dengan tingkat kesulitan yang harus pakai gradasi, dari mulai warna muda, warna tua, kemudian terakhir harus disungging gitu kan ya. Itu waktu itu saya pesimis sekali, tapi ternyata alhamdulillah anak-anak itu dengan cepat bisa memahami itu. Menurut saya sampai aduh ya Allah, alhamdulillah anak-anak ternyata bisa gitu kan, seperti itu.
Okay, thank you very much Bu Afi. It's a really positive feeling. And then going to Nando for this question ya. Is it possible the motif of Wayang Beber can make going to the batik fabrics one of the batik motif?
I think that already exists some batik with wayang motifs. So yes, I think it will be possible. Of course, as Ibu Avi said, as I said before, the technique is different. So because batik has a long process to be especially colored. Wayang Beber is a bit more direct. The technique, the sanguine technique of coloration is not that easy, but for sure is shorter than the batik method of coloration.
Thank you very much. And then we're back again to Kisera. And please unmute.
Okay. We have a question from Professor Soriente. Can you unmute yourself?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Let's see. No, hold on a second. No, yes, I'm. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm really glad to. Well, I just want to congratulate to both the presenters, and also from this effort to create this kind of interdisciplinarity in this kind of perspective of talking about cultural issues. So I'm really happy to see two different speakers actually departing from different perspectives. But probably that was really a good point because, and here comes my question, can we really consider Wayang Beber a form of performance? Probably it's just a form of visual art. Or I understand that actually open a scroll of Wayang Beber is probably just a way of reading. It's like reading a story without actually a text, but thanks to the capabilities of the dalang to tell a story. So the question is, do you really think it's a matter of performing arts, or probably it's just a matter of storytelling? And another question is, do you have any idea of what was the reception of the people attending a kind of storytelling through through Wayang Beber in the past and also maybe today or more recently. And also the difference between Gelaran and Pacitan. Maybe just from the name, probably there's a difference in the two genres, because Gelaran probably means something that has to be shown, and the other one is just to be seen. I don't know. I mean, do you think there's a difference in this way? The question probably goes to Nando, but I don't know. Ibu Marlina also probably can say something.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Have a please, Nando.
Thanks, Antonio, for your question. Very interesting question. Okay, I want to answer directly. And yes, and I read also another question about the main purpose of the wayang performance at the time. So yes, the situation of between visual art and performing art. Okay, the purpose of Wayang Beber was, I think in past, I'm quite sure of this, was a ritual purpose. And so it was, yes, it was storytelling with the visual support. And for sure, it was not a performing art. I mean, a sort of amusing time for people. So I think that Wayang Beber, a performance of Wayang Beber was held for important reason, as ritual reason, as I don't know, rite of passage, like birth or marriage, but also for cleansing ceremony, and especially for cleansing ceremony, because we have historical source that prove that, yeah, actually Wayang Beber was the ritual to perform the ruwatan, the cleansing ceremony or exorcism. As reward the reception of the people, when I gave the historical data, I talked about a chronicle from the Chinese monk Ma Huan. It was the first description of the Wayang Beber, of a Wayang Beber performance as we know it today, with the long scroll and the dalang that explain the picture and so on. And the Ma Huan gives also some remark about how the people feeling during this performance. And he said that people react to the word of the dalang, crying or laughing or showing emotion, and sometimes also joining the conversation with the dalang, as is used also today in wayang performance, wayang kulit or wayang golek performance. As regard Gelaran and Pacitan, okay, Gelaran and Pacitan are the two places where the scrolls, the traditional, the two sets of traditional scrolls are kept. Actually, yes, Gelar has also the meaning of unfold, and but I don't think there's any. It's just a coincidence, because there's no link about, because for time I'm calling this set of scroll Wayang Beber Gelaran, but it is more known under the name of Wayang Beber Wonosari or Wayang Beber Gunung Kidul. So I think it's just referred to the place. And it's interesting to think about one is to be performed and the other just to be seen, to be shown to people, because there's an interesting data that I found in some interview with people talking around Wayang Beber. And in one interview, when my interviewer said that actually, of course, there's philosophical meaning behind the two scrolls, but he compared also to the human being as a female part and a male part. So Joko Kembang Kuning, that is the Wayang Beber from Pacitan, the one that is very colored with colorful details, should be the feminine part. And Kiremeng Manggujaya, this more simple, is plane in its landscape must be the man. So yeah, it's interesting to think about this perspective, and probably the trend, just to show, especially when the two scrolls arrived in these two little villages, because Pacitan, the village in Pacitan and the village in Gunung Kidul in Buenos Aires, they are very little place. So I don't know if it was a sort of showing performance, not just showing performance. I think, especially in the villages, was meant as a ritual.
Okay, thank you, Nando. So I think we are going. Ibu Afi, do you want to have a adding comment?
Oke, mungkin saya akan nambahin sedikit ya. Begini, jadi sebenarnya kan wayang beber itu kan wayang yang untuk ritual ya, ritual penuh sakral, sehingga pada waktu itu kan kalau saya baca-baca, saya lihat literatur gitu kan ya, itu kan untuk mengadakan acara itu kan perlu ada sesajen ya kan, kemudian dia juga ada menyan dan sebagainya, karena itu memang sifatnya sangat sakral. Tetapi setelah saya melihat ke arah sini ya, kalau artinya seperti itu hanya digunakan untuk sakral saja, mungkin ini akan segera punah gitu loh. Karena untuk kaum milenial otomatis sudah tidak mengenal dunia lain ya, maksud saya dunia sakral gitu kan, sudah beda, pola berpikirnya kan sudah berbeda. Kemudian saya belajar dari dalang Seno Nugroho atau dalang slang ya, wayang kulit ya. Jadi gini, kalau wayang kulit dahulu itu juga digunakan untuk event-event atau kegiatan yang sangat sakral ya, seperti misalnya perkawinan, kemudian sunatan, atau kemudian ada juga ruatan ya kan, diruat ya kan, untuk menghilangkan semua yang negatif dari diri kita kan, membersihkan. Nah ternyata dalang Seno ini kalau saya mengikuti jejaknya, dia bisa mengemas wayang kulit itu menjadi wayang yang disukai oleh generasi milenial. Artinya begini, secara pakem wayang kulit ya kan, secara pakem wayang kulit beliau masih menggunakan, tetapi ada intermezzo yang sangat menarik, khususnya pada saat limbuan ya, itu membuat sekarang subscribernya kan luar biasa gitu kan di YouTube itu. Nah ini saya berpikir mungkin wayang beber juga kalau ingin dikembangkan, artinya tetap pakemnya ada, tetapi mungkin modifikasi dalam penyampaian dalang, seperti ini saya baca juga ada pertanyaan di Zoom ya, itu kan bisa dimodifikasi. Oke, berarti itu kan perlu ada diskusi khusus dengan ahli wayang beber ya. Saat kapan wayang beber itu ditampilkan pakem seperti wayang kulit, saat kapan itu dimodifikasi, kemudian diberikan cerita-cerita yang menarik atau lelucon-lelucon yang menarik, sehingga orang tidak boring untuk melihat begitu.
Oke, terima kasih Bu Afi. Ini ada pertanyaan dari Mbak Truli.
Sorry, Ruli, because I think I forgot to
add something. Okay, have a please.
Yeah, to answer the last part of the question of Antonia about the performing art nowadays. I think nowadays, as Ibu Avi was trying to say, I think nowadays is just a performing art. The ritual character, it's okay. Today we can assist to very rarely to performance of Wayang Beber Pacitan and Wayang Beber Gelaran, and they are still considered as a ritual. Also, if reproduction with there are also reproduction of these two sets of scroll. So when the perform is made with the reproduction, lose the sacral, but still the audience feel the sacral meaning of that story. But as regard the Wayang Beber, the contemporary wave of Wayang Beber, of course today I think, okay, for Dalang and for the troupe, there's a sort of ritual meaning. But for people, for audience, it is just considered a performing art, a sort of join an ancient performing art, but the topics of the Lacon, of the narratives change. They are direct to young people, so talking about corruption, pollution, and political situation. So nowadays it's just, I think, theater.
So I
But
think
can I add something? I mean, to me, it seems to be just like storytelling, which is something that is very, very powerful. I mean, in Indonesia, we know that orality and storytelling is a very important thing. And I know that also from other cultures with which I'm more concerned with, there is an interaction, of course. The point is, why do we consider it to be a performance when nothing really performs anything? And in another case, do actually the spectators go close to the picture, to the Beber and comments? I mean, they look at what was going on. I mean, I understand very much. I mean, of course, it's a matter of performance. It's also somebody who tells stories is, of course, a performance. But in this case, I think. I mean, I don't really know how to see it as a performance. This is my point, basically. But, well, it's interesting. I mean, what is the difference of reading a manuscript, like actually many other cases happens in other cultures of Indonesia? Unless you say, well, people actually get close to the thing and maybe the dalang does some movement. So I see some kind of performing. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Other than himself actually saying things.
Yes, I think here was a problem of terminology. Yes, it is. I think it is a storytelling. It's actually a storytelling performance. Sorry, I don't want to say performance because we think of performance as performing art. I mean performance in the way, okay, the dalang, also the dalang performing a ritual. So I'm using this verb just to be. To indicate that the dalang do storytelling, and yes, actually to explain a scroll is like to reading a manuscript, yeah, because I think there is a code inside the figure that are depicted inside all the scene. So it's, yeah, sometimes also painting can be a sort of scripture or scripture. So yeah, I think this is the basis of Wayang Beber. Then the fact that I use always performing is just a problem of terminology, okay. because yeah, it was, I use perform to say also performing a ritual and performing a performance as a theater. Yeah, so sorry, it was just problem of terminology.
Okay, thank you very much for the explanation. But I think this, from this point of view, there is a question from Truly, yeah? Truly asking you what was the main purpose of the Wayang Beber performance at the time. Actually, it's already answered by this discussion. Okay, then we going to the another question, yeah? Hope you don't mind. There is a Ibu Lida Hasibuan from the YouTube asking to Nando how to apply Wayang Beber in independent learning activity besides painting of Wayang Beber, such as the application of character value. You just said that now the Wayang Beber was using for the political, for the advocation and everything. Have a place to answer for that, Nando?
Yes, in the current wave and the modern, the contemporary wave of Wayang Beber, yeah, Wayang Beber changed its role, but yes. Change its role from a religious to a social role, I think. And yeah, the matter of fact that the new Lacon, the new narratives talk about actual problem as we told, the politic and so on. Yes, it's another kind of value. In the past, during the ritual of Wayang Beber, the value was where of the religious value or keeping alive the tradition and so on. Today, beside the duty to keeping alive the tradition as the regeneration work of Ibu Avi does. Beside this, there's also a sort of communication of social value. So not anymore religious value, but still alive the traditional value of the culture with new concepts. I mean, ambiented in a modern world, in the contemporary world.
I think it's a same question with Ibu Tamalia before, yeah. We're welcoming also Mr. PJ Range, Director of IV Jakarta. He has a question. Did you come across Wayang Beber scroll with some text edit? Going to Nando. And going to Ibu Afi, Bapak PJ Range asking you, saat mengajar di SMA, apakah Anda membiarkan siswa membuat cerita baru, Bu Afi? Mungkin dengan topik baru gitu ya, yang seperti tadi ditanyakan Bu Tamalia. Is there any training and how to be a dalang to young generation also? Okay, so have a please to answer first by Ibu Afi maybe.
Ya, terima kasih Ibu Ruli. Terima kasih pertanyaan yang sangat bagus. Jadi gini, kemarin itu memang kita itu masih dasar ya, sangat dasar ya. Jadi saya masih nanya coba-coba dengan menggunakan teknik-teknik yang yang pakem aja dulu gitu loh. Karena saya belum berani gitu kan. Tapi itu masukan yang bagus karena hasilnya ini kan yang kami tampilkan tadi kan semua hasil-hasil anak SMA ternyata menurut kami luar biasa. Sehingga mungkin ini adalah ide yang bagus. Terima kasih masukannya. Nanti akan kita kembangkan lagi menjadi dengan teknik-teknik atau cerita-cerita yang lain sehingga lebih menarik untuk generasi saat ini. Terus kemudian tadi pertanyaan kedua apa, Dek? Dalang ya?
Iya, sekolah dalang ya.
Oh ya, oke. Jadi begini intinya, sekolah dalang itu ada, dan kebetulan begini, kebetulan saya mulai tahun 2001 sampai dengan 2020 sampai saat ini masih berjalan. Saya itu kan penelitian di Keraton Kasunanan Surakarta, termasuk kawasan Baluarti. Nah di sana saya temukan banyak potensi, termasuk Wayang Beber ini. Jadi masih ada satu orang, ya tadi Bapak Joko Sriono, yang beliau pesungging Wayang Beber, sehingga saya waktu itu tergerak mau nggak mau saya harus menularkan ya ilmunya ya, karena beliau sudah sepuh ya kan. Saya khawatir ini beliau belum menularkan ilmunya, tetapi beliau sudah, artinya kita harus pikirkan untuk generasi anak sekarang kan. Nah kemudian saya lakukan untuk anak SMA. Terus kemudian untuk dalang, jadi di Baluarti itu sendiri juga ada kursus dalang juga ada. Jadi mau dalang wayang kulit atau yang lain itu di sana lengkap. Jadi segala potensi yang terkait budaya itu di Keraton Kasunanan Surakarta ya, terutama Baluarti itu lengkap. Jadi monggo silakan kalau ada yang berminat untuk kursus dalang itu silakan, kami akan hubungkan dengan Baluarti. Begitu, Dek Ruli?
Oke, satu lagi nih, menyambung dari pertanyaan tadi. Pertanyaannya dari calon santri untuk Bu Afi gitu ya. Ini kita dapat dari YouTube. Bisakah Wayang Beber digunakan untuk aktivitas pembelajaran dalam bentuk lain, tidak hanya pembelajaran yang konvensional, terutama saat masa pandemi ini, dimanfaatkan dengan e-learning mungkin gitu? Ya.
Oh bisa, sebenarnya bisa Ibu. Ini sangat bagus. Terima kasih ide-idenya. Ini tadi saya baca ide-idenya luar biasa, membuat saya jadi mempunyai terinspirasi untuk melakukan A, B, C, D, E gitu kan. Terima kasih banyak.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will going to Nando because there is some question for you from Philip or Carmento Palermo. Do you any evidence on the way the dalang was used to narrate the stories? And then the other things is there are a lot from Carmento. It seems there's an extraordinary parallel between the practice of the Sicilian storytelling, Chuntu, and Morinet's Pupi. Seems like Wayang Beber and Wayang Kulit.
Okay, so evidence about the role of dalang. Yes, in the chronicles that that I known before is the one from Mahuhan, that actually is the more precise chronicle. For this reason, I'm insisting on that. Yes, actually, there's an evidence. Mahuhan wrote that there was a man that drawn on the Luang different scene of a story, and then he sitting on the ground with cross-legged perform to people and showing the scroll and explaining the imaging, and then, as I said before, people, the audience, react to this. And the other question, it was about the Kuntu and Marionette. Yes, actually, there is a parallel between especially Wayang Kulit or Wayang Golek and Marionette dei Pupi Siciliani. Yes, actually, and there's also a parallel with our Cantastoria in Italy. I mean, it's the same. There's a scroll and somebody that sing or tell what we see in this imaging that he showed to us. So yes, there's a parallel between this different but parallel art.
Okay, thank you very much. And also, we have also very interesting questions is about related with our topic, space and urban, ya. From Ibu Retno, dosen arsitektur di Trisakti. Halo Ibu Retno, selamat sore. And also we have Pak Aditya, is IAI Jakarta. Welcome you, Pak Aditya. And one of them is asking you about how is the Wayang Beber can relate it or influence to urban and architecture space? Is it the same also with Ibu Retno asking where to signify the sacred space or it? Yeah. Okay, so it's talking about the space and architecture. Have a please, Nando.
Okay, yes, I can relate. Actually, this was when we decided together to talk about space and perspective, it was a sort of subject to match also this collaboration with the architecture faculty. So it was an idea, and all I said, it was observation from my direct experience. And actually we can relate the space and the movement of the Wayang Beber, also simply talking about what the Dalang do with the scroll. So just the fact that a scroll must be open and then must be rolled and unrolled is a sort of parallel with space and perspective. And then, yes, of course, I think that architecture can get inspiration from this, because I gave my points of view from the way of an anthropologist that look at a picture and so talk about perspective and so on. Maybe architect can say us more about how to intend the perspective.
Okay, and then we're going to Ibu Afi. You can follow up this question.
Terima kasih, Bu Ruli. Terima kasih pertanyaannya. Bagus sekali pertanyaannya. Jadi begini, kalau ini saya mencoba mempelajari Wayang Beber dari setiap detailnya ya. Setiap detail yang ada pada beberan-beberan itu ya, lukisan-lukisan tersebut. Ternyata di sana itu sama seperti saat kita, karena mungkin background saya di arsitektur ya, saya mencoba masuk ke perspektif antara arsitektur dan Wayang Beber. Jadi di sana itu setiap setting ya, untuk arsitektur pasti sudah paham tentang setting ya, setting ruang ya kan. Jadi setiap adegan itu dikemas dalam sebuah setting yang sangat menarik. Kalau kita misalnya di pendopo, di sana juga ada pendopo, gitu kan ya. Terus kemudian di luar lagi, kemudian kalau setting di luar, di sana ada landscape, kemudian ada tanaman-tanaman yang sangat menarik, kemudian ada juga background yang lain, elemen-elemen arsitektur di sana muncul semua. Nah, disinilah kemudian saya berpikir bahwa ternyata ini ada kaitannya yang sangat erat ini antara saya belajar di arsitektur dengan saya belajar di Wayang Beber. Nah, ini dari jadi monggo nanti Bapak Ibu coba buka tadi seperti gambarnya Nando dan gambar-gambar lukisan saya yang tampilkan, itu kalau didetail, itu sudah terlihat sekali banyak elemen-elemen arsitektur maupun urban yang muncul di sana. Nah, seperti itu. Kira-kira begitu jawaban kami.
Oke, thank you very much Bu Afi. I hope Bu Retno dan Pak Aditya satisfied with this answer ya. Kita left tinggal berapa menit lagi Kisera? Sekitar ada 10 menit. Satu pertanyaan lagi.
Bu Ruli, boleh nggak saya nambah sedikit aja?
Ya, silakan.
Oke. Begini, mungkin karena Nando ini kan sedang disertasi ya, PhD ya. Jadi mungkin ini masukan saja dari saya. Ternyata setelah saya melihat gambar-gambar Nando yang tampilkan tadi sangat menarik. Jika saya sandingkan dengan gambar-gambar yang saya dengan teknik Keraton Kasunanan Surakarta ya, ada perbedaan walaupun memang secara intinya itu sama dalam hal cerita, tetapi dalam teknik pewarnaan, teknik sungging, saya lihat sekilas tadi, kemudian saya pelajari sekilas, oh ternyata berbeda. Mungkin ini silahkan Nando, nanti mungkin mau dipelajari lebih dalam atau mau untuk postdoktoral lagi gitu kan ya, silahkan. Ini sangat bagus itu. Tadi saya lihat teknik rendering dari cara yang paling sederhana, rendering atau sungging, itu ternyata berbeda antara yang ditampilkan Nando dengan dari Keraton Kasunanan. Nah ini silakan nanti mungkin untuk memperkaya ya, kemudian untuk bisa dipelajari lebih dalam lagi. Oke, terima kasih Ibu Ruli.
Oke, terima kasih. I think this discussion is very amazing. There are a lot of questions and also the opinions when we see the Zoom group chat also ya. Ibu Afi and Nando, you can read it. But yeah, the time is limited. Well, how many left, Kisera? I'm asking you. We cannot hear you. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, great. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's time for closing now. I'm afraid we don't have any possibility to answer all the questions, but of course you are very welcome to write us, to contact us for further questions, or if you want to have the discussion directly with the speakers, with Mas Nando and Ibu Afi. Yeah, you are welcome to write us with the question. And if you need the materials that were presented here, we can share it with you, of course. Just write us, contact us. And yeah, I think that's all from me.
Okay, yeah, then I can. It's better not to conclude because there are a lot of a lot of issue that we can discuss. So, well, I think we need future series to have a more deep discussion, Kisera. But yeah, we will see and wait what EEC will have the next agenda. Waiting for that second event, right? So I'm pass to you as a host to closing. Thank you very much, everybody, for this afternoon question. Have a please, Kisera.
Thank you so much. I just would like to add something. Yeah, you can keep following us on our social media at IIC Jakarta for our next event. We have many event in the future. Tomorrow we have a cuisine event, so this is very interesting, I guess, in this period. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for participating in this webinar. And I wish you a pleasant weekend ahead, and stay safe, stay healthy. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Okay, before
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Terima kasih banyak.
Oh, one more thing, Ibu Ruli.
Family picture?
Yeah, do you want to take a picture? So yeah,
okay,
maybe maybe everyone. I will ask everyone to turn on the camera so we can see you.
Okay, that's
great. We are going to make a picture together. Ibu Ruli.
Say cheese. Okay, thank you. And then next slide. Say cheese. Okay, nice. Okay. Thank you very much. We did that. Family picture. We'll see you again. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a
Bye-bye.
lot. Bye bye. Grazie.
Bye-bye.
Bravo Nando, Bu Afi, selamat.
Terima kasih.
Ciao, ciao Nando.
Ciao Antonia.